Can we give a visual clap, 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 clap? Yes. As we welcome Dr. Akanimo Odom.
Thank you, sir.
Somebody, hallelujah. Welcome, sir.
It's an absolute pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. And I'm hoping.
So good.
Thank you, sir. And I'm hoping that in the next, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes, we can maybe impact some lives in a very powerful way. And so the topic I've been given today is to speak about purpose and breaking barriers to work in ministry and in divine calling. And I guess I want to make it as practical as possible, if I may. So bear with me that as we progress in the conversation, I will be asking a few questions. And the only way you can interact with these questions is if you can respond in the chat section. So that's very, very important. So I want to start with a strange question. How many of us on this platform listening to me, how many of us like money? And this is a strange question, but hear me out. Can you say yes or no in the chat? And be very honest. How many of us like money? Maybe I will start with my own yes. If you notice, my yes is quite big in capitals. So that's my yes. So maybe I'm waiting for everyone else to respond. Pastor Glory say yes, so there's even an O in his caption. That's good. Okay. And so why I ask the question is I'm trying to make sure everybody in the room, we are on the same plane. So if you are averse to money, you are in a wrong workshop. Okay, so please, could you just gently, quietly, and sweetly excuse yourself, and there will be no hard feelings. Okay, so I'm hoping I'm speaking to the right folks. Now, I set that premise because that's probably the easiest way I can tie you to understand the power of purpose. Okay, so money is physical, you can touch it. It produces a basis for purchase, for procurement. It produces a basis to obtain, if you like, belongings, property, comfortability, or value in exchange for that money. So the money itself has inherent value in it. Okay. So now when you hear the word purpose, I think for many years I struggled with how folks talk about purpose as if it's some exoteric dimension in space that you have to kind of reach out to reach. It's almost as if it's beyond reach, and so you require the help of a special minister to be able to know what your purpose is. And that got me really worried, because fundamentally, the purpose of a thing is the reason for its being. So that means before this workshop, I think for a couple of weeks ago, Pastor Glory, I think that was 2 weeks ago, you reached out to me. And then I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we agreed a date for me to give this talk. Is that correct? Good. So, and what happened?
Yes, sir.
He sent me a flyer after we agreed, and my picture and name was on the flyer. So the purpose for this meeting, follow me, this is very important, because once you understand purpose from this perspective, you act and behave differently. Many people struggle, and it's almost as if they have a torchlight looking for purpose, as if purpose was ever lost. That makes no sense. Which is the reason why I want to practicalize and break it down. So it means that the purpose for this meeting was established before the meeting. Are you following me? If you're hearing me, say yes, you are. If you're hearing me, say yes, please. So, because I knew about this meeting 3 weeks ago, but the meeting hadn't happened yet. But if you asked Pastor Glory, who is our host and convener, the purpose of today, he knew the purpose 3 weeks ago. So purpose precedes product. Purpose precedes the person. So that means that there is an underlying purpose before you were created. So I'll put it this way. Now, if you see a refrigerator, okay, follow me, a refrigerator, okay? normally what happens is you don't say that you create a refrigerator, okay, and then you now figure out what it's supposed to be used for. That makes purpose come after the person, okay? Instead, what happens is you'd say, I want to cool and preserve things, purpose, okay? And so I make a refrigerator. But it also means something else, which is very, very powerful. It means that problems precedes purpose, and purpose precedes person. If you cut that, can you say yes, sir? Okay. Because every purpose by design is to solve a problem. So problems precedes purpose, and purpose precedes the person. Okay. Maybe a simple way to explain it is this. Genesis 1. In the beginning, God made the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved over the face of the waters. So hold on a minute. In the beginning, God made the heavens and the earth was without form. That's problem one. And void. That's problem two. And darkness was on the face of the deep. Problem three. So it means, therefore, that at the beginning, when God made the heavens and the earth, the introduction of that beginning began with problem, which is why it established the problem principally before the actual creation. And so if you notice, Adam comes down the line, the actual person to continue the resolution of these problems comes in the sixth day. Come on now. Are you hearing me? So God established the problems. The earth was without form, problem one, and it was void, problem two, and darkness was on the face of the deep. So what happened really is, before Adam was even made, the first to the fifth day involved the resolution of these three problems. So what do I mean? So how do you resolve the problem of no form? You give it structure. Did you get that? How do you resolve the problem of void? You give it content. How do you resolve the problem of darkness? You give it light. But in the scheme of things, when it came to the provision of the solutions to these three problems, one solution precedes the other. So I'm talking about even within purpose, there is prioritization. And I'll come to that in a minute. So even though he said, without form, and it was void, and darkness was on the face of the deep, the first problem he resolved was actually darkness, which is why the next verse says, and God said, let there be light. Because to even have the environment and platform to resolve the problem of void and what? And formlessness, you need to have light. There has to be a basis of working. And so let there be light, and there was light. So darkness is resolved. You see what I mean? So the purpose of the light was to resolve darkness. But darkness was expressed before light came. Now, from after that was in day one. And then what happens? The next thing is, if you think about the earth with no form. Now, formlessness means no structure. So everything is all over each other. I know the simplest way by design to give a formless thing form is to give it structure by separation, which is the reason why the scripture verses says, and God separated what? The firmament above, waters above from the waters beneath. Separated land from seas, from light from darkness. So when you look at the earth, you can say the water is here above and the one is below. Land is here and sea is here. Light is here and darkness is here. That's structure. And so the separation was what brought structure. So problem two resolved. Are you following me? Now, problem three. Now there is structure. The next thing is to resolve the problem of void by content. And that was when it began by saying, And God said, let the plants bring forth its increase. That is content. And so plants and birds of the air and creeping things and all of that, you began to fill the void with content. And that was the resolution of the three problems. Now, I say so because it's important to understand that we are made in God's image. And so God was showing a pattern for what Adam was going to do. That means for as far as Adam was concerned, there are problems he was supposed to resolve. And being in the image of God, he needed to understand how to operate. So when God said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, the reason is because there's going to be a problem of lack of multiplication, a problem of lack of plenty, which Adam is supposed to resolve. If the commandment to be fruitful, have dominion, and replenish the earth, which is the purpose of man, means that the earth needed replenishment before that commandment came true. Are you following me? Okay, it means the earth required a sense of dominion before Adam was made. So Adam came, but the problem existed before him. So I'm going to ask a series of questions. So and this is important to understand what your purpose is. So I'm laying this high level foundation. So when I begin to narrow it down, you can see where you stand. Okay, that's the premise. So problem precedes purpose. Are you following me? And purpose precedes person. Okay. Now watch. I want you to respond in the chat. This is important. Okay, respond in the chat. If I asked you and said, how might you describe a lion? I mean the animal lion in just a phrase or word. Can you respond in the chat? What might you use to describe a lion? Let's go, please. Describe for me. What would you, if I said describe a lion, what comes to heart? What comes to your mind? How would you describe a lion? Can you respond in the chat, please? Can everybody still hear me? Thank you very much, Nebro. A fierce carnivorous animal. Fierce, fearless. Keep going. Any other things you want to describe a lion by? Courageous. I like that one. Confident. Beautiful. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Powerful. My goodness. Pastor Glory. Powerful lion. I love it. Bold. Royalty. King of the jungle. Those are powerful, beautiful names, right? Amazing. So let me paint you a picture quickly. What if I told you that a lion is one of the laziest animals in the animal kingdom? What would you say? You know it's true, right? You can Google it. You know, everything is Google now, yeah? You know, the average male lion sleeps and snoozes for up to 20 hours a day. Now, let's reverse the question. How would you describe your friend or neighbor who sleeps and snoozes for 20 hours a day? Talk to me. Give me a name. Lazy, nonentity, ozwo, shameless, rubbish. Yeah. So now the question is this: how come you would describe a lion as bold, courageous, powerful, supersonic royalty, and yet you would describe your friend who does the exact same thing as a lion, lazy and slothful? There's a reason why. I want to make a point. The reason is very simple. The reason is this. And so, guys, ladies and gentlemen, hear me well. If you forget anything, remember this one. The reason is because the 4 hours the lion is active, it is so amazingly brilliant at what it does that it makes you forget its 20 hours of sleep. Come on now. That's the reason why you can never, okay, under normal circumstances, describe a lion as lazy and slothful. You know the reason why? Because the lion understands how to operate in his roar. Okay? So I'll flip it a different way. You know a parrot, follow me, a parrot can be taught to bark. A parrot. You can Google this on YouTube. A parrot can be taught. That's correct. A parrot can be taught to bark. Are you following me? And it to bark. The difference is the parrot cannot bark sustainably because its vocal cord has not been designed to bark. Okay? In the reverse, a dog can bark comfortably. As a matter of fact, research shows that the average dog barks over, so if it's 10-year-old dog, at the age of 10 years old, the average dog would have barked up to 500,000 times. So, friends, ladies and gentlemen, barking better be easy for a dog because barking is fundamental to its purpose. You know, if a dog is hungry, it barks. If it's angry, it barks. If he wants to sleep, it barks. If he wants to run away, it barks. If he's afraid, it barks. But there are levels of barking that a dog owner knows this is what this bark means. So whatever is important, now hear me well, this is design. Whatever is important to the sustainability of a dog, which is its purpose, must come easy to it, or else it's a wrong design. Follow me? Okay. So I'll rephrase this because I'm narrowing it down to a point. Okay. It's fundamental principles of design that whatever is designed that functions to enhance the purpose of a being must naturally be easy for the being, or else it's anti-design. If you call God the master designer and creator, how do you take God to be? It makes no sense that you think that thing you are struggling with, that is difficult, you wake up in the morning and you say, oh, not again. It cannot be important to your design. Whatever, see Pastor Glory, I'm looking at him. If you wake him tomorrow morning and say, Pastor Glory, organize another webinar series to empower 1,000 youth, he will jump on the wagon, tired or not. You know why? Because what looks difficult to you, for him, it is raw. It's part of his framing and design, which is why it is important to his purpose. Now, that takes me to another point. So let me go back to the tracking. This is important. So, problems precedes purpose, and purpose precedes product. But guess what? There is something else that qualifies the product, and that's personality. Okay? See, because people ask me, but doctor, how do I know my purpose? It's not rocket science, and I'll show you how to know. But to show you how to know, let me first explain to you using something basic you can really understand. Okay? Now watch this. How many of us have a refrigerator? Say yes or no. How many of us have a refrigerator? Or at least you know what it does. Say yes or no. Let me narrow down purpose so you get the point. Okay, fantastic. So you know what the refrigerator does. Beautiful. Okay, now. So imagine for a minute, okay, that my job, I'm the designer of refrigerators. So I design refrigerators for a living. It's what I do for a job. And so my newest design has been designed and produced. And I sent Pastor Glory a birthday gift. Pastor Glory, when is your birthday, sir?
January 21st.
Fantastic. So Pastor Glory's birthday is 4 days after my birthday. Mine is 17th of January. So on his birthday, I sent him a birthday gift of this designed refrigerator I have designed and produced. I sent it to him. Now follow me. This is a very important story. Now, so thank you very much, Osenwige. So problem precedes purpose, and purpose precedes product or person. But personality qualifies the person, that product. So I want to explain with this example. So I sent him a birthday gift, and so I go to his house for dinner. There are other friends in the house, but they are still cooking. So Pastor Glory says, Dr. Akan, could you just walk around the house, relax, chill? Dinner will soon be ready. I said, thank you, that's fine. So I'm walking around the house. I look in the corner. I spot my gift. Follow me. So this is the gift I sent to him. Remember, I'm the designer of refrigerators. So I now approach the gift. The first thing I notice is that he hasn't plugged it. You got my point? The plug is not in its socket. So I'm wondering, oh, maybe he hasn't launched the fridge yet. But wait a minute, there's no other fridge in the house. That's interesting. So I approached the refrigerator. And as I opened the refrigerator, can you guys guess what I see? I noticed that Pastor Glory has nicely arranged his shoes in different compartments of the refrigerator. You know, the refrigerators have compartments. There's different levels. So he's put this beautiful, and he's got nice shoes. Have you seen the shoes? Me, I've seen them. Powerful. He's put nice polished shoes in the first compartment. He's ironed his beautiful shirt in second compartment. He's put maybe some socks and t-shirts in the third compartment, nicely arranged. So the question to you is this: if you were me, the designer of the refrigerator, what will you do? Talk to me. You know, I told you I want to make it interactive, yeah? If you were me, what would you do? I'm waiting for responses. Me, I know what I would do. That is the end of our friendship. I would defriend him. No amount of prayer. No amount of prayer. Okay? Thank you, my friend. Oh, Glory said you will carry his fridge away. I don't blame you, my brother. Something that took you a long time to design and produce. Somebody is putting shoes in it. Okay? Now imagine what the master designer feels each time you put your shirt and shoes in his fridge. Think about that for a minute. Imagine what the designer, how it feels. The Almighty. Okay? So let me narrow this down. So follow me. Now I want you to notice that as long as the shoes, this is where the problem comes. As long as the shoes and clothes are inside the refrigerator, you would notice that dust will never come close. Did you get that? So actually, the refrigerator has a function, the function of storage, but the purpose is the preservation of food. So you can function in, you can operate in function, doesn't mean you're operating in purpose. Did you get that? So the refrigerator actually has a function that is playing at that time. Is the storage of shoes, the prevention of dust. That's a function. But what? Its purpose has not been felt. Now, do you realize that, yes, you can serve a function, but not in purpose? Do you realize that the reason why that purpose wasn't made clear was because he didn't plug it in the what? In the socket. Pastor Glory, if you had plugged that fridge and you opened it and discovered it was very cold, would you put your shoes in it? Thank you very much. That means that unless you exhibit, and notice, if you look at the manual of the refrigerator, it will tell you the first thing you do, go and read the manual of every refrigerator, is to plug it in a socket, because that is when purpose becomes realigned. The reason why he was comfortable putting his shoes in his fridge is because it never plugged it in the socket. And so it never felt that it can get cold. Okay? It means, therefore, that purpose is tied to power. Come on now. This is important. Okay? You need a sense of power. And power is knowledge. Don't worry, I'm speaking this thing differently, but at the end of the day, you get the full flow. So, purpose is something that is important for you to deliver to resolve a problem. All purposes is to resolve problems, or else it's just a function. First point, purpose is driven from a place of ease because it's part of your design. Okay? Now, I'll put it this way. Now, have you, in the UK during winter, when it's very cold, okay, during cold season, like winter period, you will find like some poor folks who are living on the street. when it's too cold and breezy, they will look for a car, open the car, and stay inside to prevent themselves from the cold. Can somebody tell me what the function of the car is at that time? Talk to me. So a poor man on the street in winter is very cold, sees a car, opens it, and thank you very much, Glory. So what is the function of the car? The car is serving as a temporary accommodation. That's a function. But can someone tell me the actual purpose of a car? Because if a car was designed, the purpose of a car was designed for accommodation, why do we need houses? So there's actually a purpose for a car that the designer had in mind to resolve a problem. Can someone tell me what it is? Quickly. I'm wrapping up shortly. Thank you very much, Glory. It was transportation movement. A car was designed, the purpose of a car fundamentally is movement and transportation. And which problem is it solving? It's solving the problem of stagnancy. So a problem that people need to go to one location to the other. That's the problem. It preceded the car. Car became important because the problem existed before the car. Are you following me? So the car is functioning as accommodation, but its purpose is transportation. So now this is in the actual nitty-gritty where it gets exciting. If somebody asked me and said, oh, so if you've never seen a car before, ladies and gentlemen, and I say, okay, guys, this thing, what is its purpose? Can you tell me how might you know what its purpose is? Anybody? It's very simple. So if you've never seen a car before and don't know what it's supposed to do, and you saw it for the first time, what might be a simple way to know what this car is designed to do? You know what it is? Is to check its features. So for example, this thing under the car is round. Thank you very much to the design and features. This thing under this car or whatever it is round and is holding the weight. You realize that it doesn't make sense if this thing is supposed to be stationary for it to have round tires. Are you following me? That is anti-design. That's if a car was designed to be stationary perpetually, a round tire is a wrong design. If you are hearing me, say yes, sir. I want to know you are following me because I want to tie this down. Because when you understand purpose, things get easier. Okay? A round tire is a wrong design for a stationary object. So the round tire means this thing has been designed to move. And then you approach the car and open the bonnet. Then you see, you open the actual car, you see a speedometer. Can somebody tell me the importance of a speedometer in a stationary object? That makes no sense, does it? That makes no sense, okay? Then you open the bonnet and see a place where they pour fuel. What is and you know fuel is, if it burns, gives power. So the question is, what is the purpose of a fuel location in a stationary object? What am I saying, ladies and gentlemen? It is the sum total of different features that paint a picture of purpose. Did you hear that? It's the sum total of different features that paints a clear picture of purpose. Different features working easily for you paint a picture of what you've been designed to do. So your personality is important to your purpose. If not, it's a wrong design. Are you following me? So there are most of you that you see somebody drawing and you can't help yourself. Something just goes to you and say, hey, I want to draw. And you just shake it off. And that's the end of it. But you don't realize that something is happening. The feeling of love for drawing is part of your design, which is the reason why you can't explain why you like it. Because somebody put it there, the designer put it there. It's an element of your design to fulfill a purpose that resolves a problem. I'll paint a picture with my daughter. I love using her as an example. This is very important. So at the age of 2, I think 2 or 3, the music comes on the radio and she starts shaking her legs. This is in a dance. But I noticed that it wasn't so much the shaking of her legs in response to the rhythm of the music. It was the fact that she was shaking the legs in rhythm. So if you increase the tempo of the song, the shaking of her legs would increase. You can tell this little girl has rhythm. You realize that there are some people in this world, even if you tell them, oh yeah, follow me, let's dance. Move your leg, 1 step, 2 step. They have 2 left legs and can never dance. I think she was 2 or 3. By the age of 5, she says, Daddy, I want to write a book. I think 5 or 6. And I said, okay, well, write a book. She wrote a book and she was playing with words. Then the next thing I noticed, she started reading books. I mean, this young girl has maybe over 150 or 200 books. On her birthday, book, read voraciously. Meanwhile, I have a son. You have to beg him to read. Are you following me? So reading of books was easy for her. It was natural. It was like a roar. She can't explain it. It was nice. It was cool. So I'm telling you this is practical story. So you can see the reason why many of you got it wrong or why most people get it wrong. So she's reading books. It was easy. She was reading books. By the age of 7, she said, Daddy, I want to draw. I said, well, draw. Can somebody tell me what patterns are you seeing in her by this sum total of different attributes and features? Think about the example of the car. What can you see is happening? By the age of 7, she says, I want to draw. If I show you what she draws now, you can't even believe. She's 16 now. You can't believe what she draws. It's pretty incredible. But something happened before she entered secondary school. So in the UK, normally what you do is you take the kids to different schools, and then you go from one department to the other. Okay, I think she was maybe 8. Yeah. Anyway, so I remember that day, we walked into the physics department. It was just okay. Then we walked into the mathematics department. It was just all right. Then we walked into the biology department. It was just okay. And immediately we walked into the theater, arts, and media department. You could see her face light up. I don't even think she even knew what was happening. But I, as a father, looking at her, I saw exactly what was happening. There was something in her design that was telling her, I am supposed to be here. And the only way she could express that alignment was through joy and smile. Just walking into the theater media department of this secondary school, her face lit up. It was so profound. Which is the reason why God is too amazing a designer to give you a purpose. Listen very carefully and keep you in the dark of your purpose. That makes no design sense. That you have to be looking for somebody to interpret your purpose for you. Now you get the purpose. So whatever comes naturally to you, you do with ease, that makes you happy from within, is fundamental elements towards your roar. Now, most of you know what it is, but you put it to the corner. And until you get to that thing carefully and align yourself, you will struggle. You will be functioning, but you're not in purpose. You will continue to struggle unless you get back in line what you're supposed to be achieving. And a simple way of doing it is, I tell people very carefully, whatever you find easy for you to do, sometimes don't even think about what the purpose is. Just do it, because as you do it, purpose will realign. Does that make sense? Just do it. Because as you keep doing, I'll give a simple example, if you permit me. Most of you know the story of David, because many people read the story of David, but they realize that David was a supersonic professional who understood and operated in purpose. So he's 12. I think he was 12, Pastor Glory, when he was in the bush. 10 or 12. Can't remember again. Anyway, so David is a young little boy in the village, in the bush. And then something happened. God took the kingdom from Saul, remember? And sent Samuel to go anoint one of the sons of Jesse. Go read it. 1 Samuel 16 and 17. So Samuel goes in, calls Jesse. I have come for anointment. Anointing, fantastic. Call all the boys. First one is not the one. Second one is not the one. He goes around all the boys, is not the one. But so Samuel is, wait a minute. Are there other left? And the father goes, there's one silly little one that is troublemaker, is in the bush. It's important. Say, I won't sit down until you call him. And he arrives. This is a very important story. Samuel anoints him. Guess what happens? Go and watch this. Immediately is anointed. That's power, right? Remember power? He goes back into the bush. Not long after, a few verses after, something happened. And the Bible says, and is an evil spirit tormented Saul. Problem always reveals purpose. The trouble is many of us don't understand that you will only align yourself with the problem you're supposed to be solving when you are already operating in everything that comes naturally to you. So the evil spirit torments Saul, and a servant of Saul says, I know what the solution is. You need somebody who is amazing with the harp. Remember the story? And Saul says, oh, okay, find somebody. And the servant went to look for David. Listen very carefully. It means that, follow me, David was what? A shepherd. But while he was a shepherd, he was playing the harp. It's the only way the servant knew he was great at harp playing. He wouldn't have been the only person playing harp in Israel. But this young little boy was amazing in playing of harp. And while he was looking after the sheep, whatever came naturally to him, he was playing it. Enough to be noticed. It was the realignment of features towards purpose. Follow me. So they call David. Now David has two things he's doing. He's a shepherd, and now he's a harp player for the king. And the Bible says, as he walks into and Saul sees him, the Bible said he was a good-looking boy, and Saul loved him. And so what happened next? Saul said, guess what? I'm giving you armor bearer. So now David has 3 jobs. He's a shepherd, a harp player, and armor bearer. Go and read the story. But guess what? All of these dimensions is leading towards the purpose of him being the king in Israel. But that purpose cannot be achieved unless he's operating and expressing everything that comes naturally to him. So if you like writing, stop complaining, write. If you love speaking, look for every opportunity to speak, free of charge or not. It doesn't matter. It's not your business in the first instance to think about who you are doing it for. The most important thing is that you are doing it. Are you following me? Because you're doing it is what creates the environment to spot the problems that you respond to. That is when purpose gets realigned. Because whatever it is you're doing, you are doing it nicely and you're feeling good about it. But very soon, because you're doing it, it will become the answer to a problem. That is when it becomes full purpose. If you're following me, say yes. I'm wrapping up now. I want to finish carefully with how to navigate the pressures that preventing you from purpose. So it means that the biggest job of the devil is to make you so busy in function. That job you're doing, you know you hate the job, and the thing you love doing, which comes easy to you, you also know it. But you keep complaining that there's no time because you are busy working 9 to 5. Guess what? You will never get in purpose because what comes naturally to you, which you love doing. In fact, the Almighty God, the designer, the master designer, has even given you the evidence to know why you're supposed to be doing it. That's why you feel the way you do in your tummy. with joy each time you do this thing. And when you're not doing it, you almost feel the same way when you see other people do it. It's still deep calling to the deep. It doesn't matter whether you are doing it, just express it. Because as long as you express it, that's the beauty of purpose. Purpose realigns. Hey, purpose realigns. You see me? I get paid serious money now just to speak. You don't want to know. But guess what? I was speaking because I can speak. I have no PowerPoint. I can speak for the next 5 hours. Okay, I haven't even gone to the nitty-gritty of dimensions of purpose I was telling you about. What do I mean? So I'll paint you a picture. In an example of a car, okay, you realize that a car's purpose, right, you all agree, is transportation and movement. But you realize that there is a difference between a petrol engine car and a diesel engine car. You get that? So a diesel engine car has been designed for long distances. I wish you can hear me well. It's still a car, but it has a different dimension within the limit of transportation. So that's the reason why if you are just driving to school and back and going for shopping and you have a diesel engine car, there's something wrong with you. It's anti-design. Because the car will be, go and look at the engine. The car will be screaming because this car has been designed to go for many, many miles. And you are restricting it to short distances. Are you okay? So that means that even within transportation, there is a dimension to it. I'll give another example. How many of us know Formula One cars? How many of us know Formula One cars? Formula One cars. You do realize that Formula One cars also fulfills the purpose of transportation. There is something else that it does. It fulfills the purpose of transportation and entertainment through speed, which is the reason why the design of the car is to keep it light. In fact, the biggest parameter and strategy for a powerful Formula One car is to make it so light yet functional. Because the lighter it is, the better it functions in its purpose by design. So that means that you begin for the simple premise of knowing you're supposed to what? To be moving people from one place to the other. And this is the beautiful thing. You now graduate to understand what you are supposed to be doing, even within movement, the more you move. Because at some point you discover that you feel nicer when you move short distances than when you move long distances. Now you are beginning to what? To re-strategize dimensions of your inner design. It's almost like somebody doing a bachelor's degree. You do all the courses. Am I correct? Then when you move to a master's degree, what happens? You become a master in a few courses. When you go to PhD, what happens? You become a doctoral degree holder in one area. So the more you learn, the more niche you get. And friend, hear me well. The more niche you get, the better your bullet point for purpose delivery. Hey. But you would only progress to PhD if you even understand the fundamental premise that you've been designed to move. It is as you progress in moving, you begin to now get into higher dimensions. You know, okay, well, guess what? I'll give an example, friends. You see me, okay? I love to speak and I love to write, okay? I like to read, but then reading has taken a back seat in my purpose dimensions because I am now doing what I'm becoming an expert in what my actual role is supposed to be, because that is where you operate in your role. You know, I told you 4 hours of a lion is not because a lion doesn't do other things, but the 4 hours is active, is doing the most important thing to it, it's so brilliant at it, you forget everything else. That's how purpose works. Whatever you love doing, just do it. Look for opportunities to do it. Look for avenues to do it. Forget about all the obstacles that will prevent you from doing it, complaints and all this nonsense. Okay? I don't have time today. I actually have designed this, what I call the 12 dimensions of purpose. And the dimensions are problems, personality, provision, preparation, people, partnerships, product, process, programs, profit, principality, and powers. 12 dimensions of purpose. But for the purpose of this short webinar, I focus on just 4 out of the 12. That's problems, personality, power, and purpose. And I hope that you will leave this room today empowered and re-energized to understand that your purpose cannot be hidden to you. You know it. Are you following me? At least you know the features that will lead to your purpose. And that's how you begin to align yourself. It's not rocket science. God is not a magician. If he's giving you a purpose, he's designed in your framework what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to know what it is. God bless you.
Amazing, 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 amazing. Wow. Are we giving a virtual hand clap for that? That is amazing. Wow, wow, wow. Well, I'm blown. It's not a surprise. I expected that. But thank you so much. That was amazing. Thank you so, so much. I mean, there's something that just got me now. You see, everybody is running away from problems. And everybody's complaining about problems. But it's what you just told us now is that your problem is tied to your purpose.
In fact, the problem is the raw materials for your purpose. The problem is the reason you have the purpose. If you notice very carefully, Bible says that God told Adam to be fruitful, multiply, and have dominion. But for some reason, he now puts him in the east part of Eden. What happened to the west, south, and north? Because purpose can't be expressed without practice. So when Adam does well in the eastern part of Eden, then he can progress to the north, the south, and the east for full dominion. There has to be practice for purpose. Everything has to follow sequentially. The reason many people never get to the purpose is because the thing that is supposed to lead them to it, they never even do it.
Awesome. Awesome. So our host for today is around. Let me allow him do his work. So let's have questions. Nibra, are you ready?
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening, boss.
Thank you, Dr. Akanimo. Thank you so much. I think we've never heard it this good. It's been explosive. It's been really, really explosive. Thank you once again. All right, we're going to put out the opportunity for everyone present in this meeting to ask a question. But before we do that, can everybody go to the chat box and just type amazing if you really got a whole lot of insight from this teaching that didn't take so long, but it was so much. So please, let's go to the chat box and let's write amazing and tell our speaker, thank you so, so much. Can we do that right now? Let's see you. Let's see you. Let's tell our speaker, thank you. Amazing, amazing. Bring it on. Come on, bring it on. Bring it on. I don't have electricity at my end, so just bear with me. All right. Thank you so much once again. So if you have a question to ask, kindly indicate by virtually raising your hand and your question will be taken. Can we go about that right now? If you have a question, or maybe just, yes, indicate by virtually raising your hand. Let's find those who have questions to ask, because there's a whole lot that's been taught tonight. A whole lot. Okay, so who is asking the first question?
They can
Okay, you
type
can
except they want to ask, that's fine. But if not, they can type. If they don't want to ask, they can type. So if you want to ask, you can raise up your hand and you'll be called upon. But if not, you can type. Just type. So welcome everyone. Type your questions or indicate.
So let's do that right away. It's so good to know that if there are no problems around you, then you had better check if you're in the right environment. Okay, is there a question? All right, please. Hope Doctor has a personal YouTube link or books about purpose. Hello, sir. Doctor, sir. Somebody's asking if you have a personal YouTube link or channel and then books written concerning purpose, books on purpose. I'm sure we can allow Doctor to react or respond to that question right now. I've been out all day.
I just moved my link to a new YouTube link. But if you check Restored Life with Dr. Akan, you'll see a lot of videos there. It's powerful.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. And maybe we
videos.
Okay. We just have it on the chat. On the chat, so you can check it out. Restore Life with Dr. Akan. So that is the YouTube channel. You can connect. And they also asked if you have books on purpose, sir.
I do indeed. So the one you can read right at the moment, the Restored Life with Dr. Akan, is called the Graduate Code. So if anybody wants copies, you should speak to Pastor Glory. We can arrange to get copies to folks. Yeah. Or you can follow me on LinkedIn.
They can talk to me, they can get copies. Yeah.
I can't even hold on. You can follow me on LinkedIn.
All right. I'm sure we can get all of those links. So it becomes easy for the following. Thank you once again, sir. Yes, please check the chat room. You'll find all of the links to Dr. Akan's handles. All right, who else have a question to ask?
So let me ask. You have a question? Okay, let me ask this question. Just to put this in perspective for everyone. Can one have more than one purpose? Maybe two or three purpose. Yes.
So it's not actually 2 or 3 purpose. It's dimensions of the same purpose. Okay. Okay. It's dimensions of the same purpose. I'll put it this way. Let me put it this way.
Okay.
So if you take a phone, okay. If I ask you what is the purpose of a phone, what would you say it is? The actual purpose of a phone.
It's to make call.
Thank you very much. You didn't know the head.
Basically.
Okay? Fantastic. So the actual purpose of the design of a phone is for communication. But how come it has touchlight, alarm clock?
Okay.
Okay. So what is happening actually is the fact that once you've established purpose, okay, it's easier to diversify within purpose as long as purpose is in same alignment. Okay. So my purpose is to impact young people. How I do it could vary.
Okay.
And the trouble is this. Can you imagine someone going to go and buy a phone and says, why do you want a phone? And the person goes, I want touch light.
No.
Won't you pursue the person with this? You see my point?
Right,
If
can
you
I just
want
go and get the touch light?
exactly. If you want a touch light, go and get a touch light. So what you discover is that there's better efficiency for purpose delivery if you get a touch light than get a phone with touch light.
Mm.
You see where I'm going with that?
Okay.
Okay. It means that is another example. So somebody says, why are you buying this phone for 400 pounds? Which I don't know how much that conversion is in naira now. And the person goes, so it can wake me up early in the morning so I don't miss work for alarm. Make sense? Okay. So this is a beautiful thing about purpose. Okay. God optimizes new dimensions within purpose as long as the central or design of purpose is realized.
Mm.
Very well. Okay,
Okay.
I think that question has been properly attended to. Will I be right to say so, sir?
Definitely. Very, very clear.
So
yes.
to respond to your
Purpose
question,
yeah.
yes, you can have a singular purpose. We can have different dimensions within the purpose. Okay, because remember, the reason for a mobile phone is ease of mobility. Okay, because if you were lifting, so which is why it's integrated. If you had a big torchlight, you can put it in your pocket everywhere you go.
Mm.
Okay, but with a mobile phone, which is a central purpose for communication, other things is within it. I know my purpose is to support young people. I get that. That's very clear to me. Impact lives, realign people back to their purpose. But then guess what? I teach. I write books. Okay? I develop design courses. I help young people across different things. So things I never even considered I would do is now beginning to come up because the central purpose that I began is still true. So other elements begin to, the central premise is this: whatever comes naturally to you is important to your purpose. That's why you have no contribution to why it's there.
Mm. Wow. Okay, so this makes sense. It makes sense to me. Looking at me, my purpose just kind of aligns with your purpose generally. But you see how we go about it now,
Thank you so much.
okay.
That's
So
correct.
dimensions now, now differs. Now,
So let me explain.
yes.
So I'll qualify it again.
Okay.
So if you have somebody, follow me, somebody who has more because which is a beautiful thing. You need to express everything that comes naturally to you and see how you feel about it. The feeling you get from doing it is God's signature to you to know you're supposed to be doing it. Because even the feeling has been put there by God. If you're doing something and you're sad when you do it, that's anti-purpose. You're not supposed to be doing it. Now watch. Some people are doing something, but they discover that, wait a minute, I have more, I feel better, or I need problems. I need to always find myself amongst where there is no light. So when they go and buy phone, what happens? They will ask for phone with better torchlight in the phone. Did you get my point? It's still phone, but then there's a level of enhancement within the phone. So whatever is highly enhanced in you is important for your purpose.
Wow.
So Pastor Glory, maybe your own, the alarm clock sounds so amazingly. It means you're supposed to be waking people up in the morning.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So some people, the alarm clock is very, very small. When it beep, ping, 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 yeah, that's not so powerful in your design.
I'd like to put in another question to complement this discussion that's going on, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now, there's what the Bible addresses as gifts.
Yeah.
And then purpose.
Yeah.
Now, how do we connect purpose and giftings?
So the gift is the basis to fulfill the purpose. Because remember, purpose would solve a problem. The purpose of the gift. Why do you have a teacher? Whatever your gifting is, until you're able to connect it to solving a problem, you haven't begun purpose. Every purpose must resolve a problem. That's design. Or else it's just frivolity.
That the gifts are equipment to execute purpose.
Thank you. But doesn't mean the gift is the purpose. That's the mistake. The gift is like your tire, or your amazing speed, or your reduced weight, whatever it is. But there's a purpose for that gift. I teach. My gift is teaching, but that's not my purpose. Teaching what? I can teach old people. I can teach young people. But I discovered that when I teach old people, I feel different compared to young people. Now, what is happening? I'm beginning to see where my feeling of gifting is most optimized from the way I feel when I'm doing it. And what happens is this, and God is so amazing at this. A powerful way to know purpose is it makes provision for purpose to continue.
Wonderful. Okay, so if I may bring this up, the gifts, they are the what, why, the purpose is the why. Can it flow like that?
It's the why. God bless you. Thank you very much. That's why I said purpose is tied to problem, because it is in the execution of the what that you fulfill the why, and the why is always tied to a resolution of a problem or challenge.
All right, thank you so much. I'm sure we're getting along very well. Every one person here, if you're
so let me explain it using the fridge. The purpose of a fridge is not to get cold. That's the gift. Did you get that? The purpose of a fridge is not to become cold. The purpose of the fridge is to preserve food from getting bad. But the coldness of the fridge is the gift to achieve the purpose.
Very well, sir. That's true. Okay.
Because I think the purpose of the fridge was for cold. Well, go to the polar region. It's very cold.
All right. I think we can have more questions come. Our doctor is doing quite good with the questions already, and I'm sure we all are getting along. Please, if you have a question, I think we have a few minutes to shut down this meeting. So your questions are welcomed. Let's have them. Let's have them. If you want to speak, please indicate so we can have you speak. If you want to type, just go ahead and do that, because this meeting is organized for you, especially because with everything that's been happening, if you don't get today's training or today's teaching, you may not get a good grip on every other thing that has happened.
So let me ask this question. Can I?
Yes, please.
All right. Let me see if I can lump three questions in one. So I want to ask, because everybody is about, purpose. I want to know my purpose. So some people feel if they don't know purpose, they are not.
The world will come to an end.
The world will come to an end. So you've just demystified the whole thing. It's not.
It's not actually as big as people make it seem.
Yes, good.
It's not.
Yes. So I want you to simplify it. Now, first of all, how important is it to know your purpose? One. Yeah. So how is there a thumb rule to just know your purpose?
So I'll explain it this way.
And then I want to add one more.
Go on, go on, go on.
What role does purpose play in overall success? You know?
That's a very powerful question. So I'll put it this way. So yeah, and hear me very carefully. This is the mistake people make. It is more important to express all the giftings that come naturally to you than looking for purpose. That's the mistake people make. So people spend more time looking for purpose, but then what they're supposed to do is spending more time looking for ways and innovative strategies to exhibit everything in their design.
This one is huge. This is huge.
Hear me well, sir. It is impossible, my goodness, for you not to find purpose if you're exhibiting the gifts. It's literally almost impossible. Brother, that car will move when you start the engine if all the parts are working.
Wow.
The purpose of transportation, that purpose of transportation will be fulfilled. In fact, when you put food in the fridge, you don't have to do anything, just plug the fridge. Purpose is realized. Purpose is actually the easiest thing to achieve. The real problem is the exhibition of everything that's been given you for exhibition.
Please, are we listening to this? This is mind-blowing for me.
That's the crisis in most churches. Purpose. Why are you looking for purpose? Purpose will find itself.
Wow.
Purpose will find itself. And so, which is the problem? Because now you spend more time looking for purpose, which means you are spending less time exhibiting what is to take you to purpose.
I think this just changed a whole lot. For most people.
Exactly.
Believe me, it does. Spend all our time trying to be sure, we are working in purpose. Meanwhile, there are deposits there for you to begin to exhibit.
My brother, let me put it even a higher level. This is the beautiful thing about purpose. Once you are exhibiting, so when I was answering your question, those giftings, this is the beautiful thing about those giftings. Those giftings will start taking you to different pockets of purpose. And very soon you will see a pattern emerge. It's very easy. Now, the reason is this. When you exhibit those giftings, one thing is very important. The priority for finding purpose is, like I told you, it needs to resolve problems. So don't exhibit the giftings for your own benefit. You will never find purpose.
You were created to solve a problem, not for yourself.
Thank you very much. There is no fruit who eat its fruit. No fruit tree eat its fruit.
You were not created for yourself.
That's actually anti-design.
Let me ask. Let me alongside. Now, when you put your gift to work,
yeah,
so purpose can be fulfilled.
Yeah.
Does it necessarily you in earning money or in reaching or helping people?
So let me now go back to his final question. Purpose, and hear me very carefully. Purpose is the simplest, surest way of sustainability, which includes money. Guaranteed. Because every career is fundamentally based on solving a problem. So the reason you're an accountant is because you are solving a problem of ignorance. The reason you are a teacher, sorry, the reason you're an accountant is because you're solving the problem of accountability. The reason you're a teacher is because you're solving the problem of ignorance. Every career is fundamentally based on solving a problem. The reason that job is paying you a salary is because there's a list of problems you are solving when you're in the office. If not, why are you here? So why is that important? When your giftings is solving problems, it creates the basis for remuneration of the solution. Now, what people need to learn, so I'll explain this. What people should go to school, which I take as a different training, is enhancing purpose, not discovering it, because it's easy to discover purpose. You can enhance purpose. Like I was telling you, a Formula One car drives, it moves from one place to the other. The enhancement now comes in, wait a minute, how can I move faster, reduce the weight on this engine? Are you following me? Now, the enhancement of purpose is an exciting teaching on how can you find partnerships? How can you reduce pressure? This is enhancing purpose, not finding it. How can you diversify? How can you write? So I know my purpose is to empower young people. Well, how do you write a book to empower them? How do you produce a course to empower them? How do you know how to use LinkedIn to empower them? It's still empowering young people. Purpose is there. But the actual training people require and need is to enhance purpose. David was what? David was a shepherd. David was what? David was an armor bearer. David was what? David was a harp player. Go and read his kingship. All these attributes were exhibited, which is what made him a supersonic king.
So now I want to, let me take you to this dimension. There's what is called calling. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. I ordained you for this. You know, so even though you can do a lot of things, I ordained you for this. And then we talk about destination. I mean, destiny. Okay, destiny means destination. I want to connect purpose to calling and destiny.
You do know all this is grammar, right? That's something else that actually annoys me. All this is grammar.
That's why I'm figuring it out.
People almost have to make it so esoteric. What is your calling? Your calling purpose. Before, that's why, so that's why I'm using a basic example. There is no designer on earth who designs a thing without knowing the reason for the design. And let me show you, God is quite specific. Everybody has a specific thing they are going to achieve. But to get to that thing, you have to express different giftings. It might be at the end of it, you achieve the purpose, but you will never get there if you're not following the pathways to the space. So, destiny, calling. Now, there are people that have got different kinds of calling. What I mean by purpose. This one has been called for the mighty. And one has to be very, very careful. You do realize that this bed I'm sitting on right now, the purpose has been designed to stand still. That's something else with many people. If you get to the point you start comparing your purpose, we have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you put a string to this bed and say, because you see a car moving, the bed must move, what would you think happens? And how do you know a bed is supposed to be stationary? Look at the design. It's got four stools for stability. It's not going anywhere.
Mm. Mm.
So even the comparing of purposes, I put it this way, it's a crisis. The question is, what do you love doing when you do makes you truly happy and joyful? In the beginning, God made the heavens and the earth. and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. Your purpose must align in either you are bringing form to formlessness, you are bringing content to void, or you are bringing light to darkness. You're going spiritual now.
Okay, that would make me ask a question, sir.
Hello, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
You
Sir.
can, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening,
evening.
man. Good evening. My name is Greg.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
Greg by name. Doctor, I can say you have been a tremendous blessing this evening. Although I came late, and that's why I asked for your link. I want to hear more about you from your YouTube link and some maybe books. I'll meet Pastor Glory in church. But I want to ask, at
Yes.
what point fulfilling purpose, using your time to fulfill purpose, at what point do you not find fulfillment? Because I'm asking this question because I believe you said one word that we need to be brought up. I know somebody, he was born to be a good teacher. I've seen people who went through him that somebody who cannot read and write, when they come to him, he was having a lot of students who through him became very successful in reading and writing and make them. But he was fulfilling doing it, but when it comes back success,
Yeah.
So I'm asking, at what point can you not try that? No, because I remember I was listening to Pastor Emmanuel Olumide. He said there's a business aspect of your talent and gift. When that is not done, when that is not known, at the end of you might be frustrated. So from what at least what you said everything about it, it is doing as a business. Like yesterday, the speaker spoke yesterday talking about she was just writing drama, doing everything. At one point, starting for her grant, she's not fulfilled. And when social media came up, she now became fulfilled. Now it's pastor through social media. At what point can one now bring back fulfillment in your fulfilling purpose?
Okay, that's a really good question, actually. So let me explain this way. So purpose, you know, God is not man, right? So God is not man. What am I God is not man? God is a spirit. Okay. So as far as God is concerned, okay, God gives you giftings to solve problems. As long as you're solving the problem, you're fulfilling purpose. Okay. But I want to qualify that. The trouble is that many people don't understand that in the fulfillment, because we live in this world. That scripture says this. That scripture is very about people read that scripture many times, but they don't understand the context of the scripture. And I will explain the scripture. It says, train up a child in the way he should go. So when he's grown up, he won't depart from it. Let's break it down. So first and foremost, there is a way the child should go. That's purpose. But then it requires training. Did you get that? So there is a way the child should go, but for the child not to depart from it, there is an element of training. That's why I was talking about the optimization of purpose, not the discovery of purpose. So people require some expertise, some support, because we live in a natural world. Remember that. In the spiritual world, you can display purpose and you're fulfilling purpose, but you are broke. You will still go to heaven fulfilled. It's only on earth you are struggling. Am I making sense?
Yes.
You fulfilled. You go to heaven and God will say, welcome, my son. God won't say, you didn't make money from the purpose, so you're not qualified. No, that's not how God works. That's why God is a spirit. So the balance that is important is the balance between your expectation towards the kingdom of God after this life on earth is over and your comfortability on earth. That's the balance. That's why it requires a sense of earthly training to enhance purpose for earthly benefit of money and cars.
All right.
You see my point, sir?
But I'm getting you.
They're two different things. Okay, so if how many people who they are in purpose and they are happy when they do it, but then they get to the house and they haven't paid the bills. So the impact, if you find them, the impact on them is not a spiritual impact, it's a physical impact on their body, on themselves. If you wake them up tomorrow morning, they will still teach. And your friends, stop many people. But this world has the economies of the world, the wisdom of this earth. Are you follow me? Which needs to be taught.
And if I may say, and so many people took ignorance of that and they became very successful. They took ignorance of him. Although it's late now, they took advantage of him, established their own, they became successful. He was not even instrumental to that.
In fact, my brother, I will go as far as telling this to show you. If you ask, I'll put an example. If you ask someone like Mark Zuckerberg, you will discover that designing things and providing solution from a social interaction perspective comes naturally to him. He's only figured out a way to make dangerous money while on earth. But if he doesn't repent of his sins and believe in Jesus Christ, he's not going anywhere. Does that make sense? So it's the qualification, the balance between the spiritual and the physical. So why many people struggle is many churches don't teach the physical and they hammer on the spiritual. The trouble is because you have a skin. You're not in your theophany yet. Theophany is your glorious body. So you are subject to the laws of this world. That's why you require training. Train up a child in the way it should go. The way the child should go is already set. Purpose is clear. But it requires training so that when they grow, they don't depart from it.
All right. I think we've had a whole lot, and it's been a great day. And maybe we should be looking at calling this meeting to a close already. And I think we should still say thank you to Dr. Akanimo once more. I think we should still do that. Can we reach out again? Go to the chat box and say thank you once again. Thank you so much. A lot of clarification has been passed across. And a lot of us who have been hanging on the fence, trying to wait for a perfect definition of purpose before you get to work. I'm sure we have been helped tonight. Purpose is not in the multitude of definitions. Find your giftings, get to work. And as you are moving in the direction of your gifts, purpose is put into practice.
So before you complete, just do something. So let's qualify Pastor Glory's question. Calling.
Yes, sir.
Hear the word calling. Calling refers to the spiritual dimension of purpose. Are you following me? Your calling. So some people have been called to achieve a specific objective. Like Paul was called to be a prophet and apostle to the Gentiles. That's his calling. Was a higher level. So you say calling is a higher level of purpose. So calling sits, if you like, a step above purpose. It's still purpose, but it's for a specific spiritual reason within a body. Does that make sense? That's the difference.
Very true, sir. Very true. Okay, sir. Can you also say something about the difference with calling and career or ambition?
Oh, this grammar.
Yes.
Pastor Glory, people have so bastardized this purpose and making things so confusing for everybody with different definitions and different, it's all the same thing. There is a purpose designed for earth. There's a purpose for the spiritual. And so aligning both is where the bang comes from.
Very well.
So your career is towards the earth, and your purpose and calling is towards the spiritual. So if you
Thank you,
understand,
sir.
I can teach you today, if you understand how to align ambition, career, or position, or you might call it vocation, with purpose, then you are a complete man.
Very true. Okay, look at the reason I'm mentioning, the reason I asked is this. You know, some people have said it times and again, that your career, that's your personal ambition.
Yes.
If it is not properly handled,
I'll put it
it
this way.
can become a
Let me make it even
distraction for
simpler.
purpose.
Let me make it even simpler.
Okay.
So you love accounting. Follow me? You love numbers. It comes naturally to you. You're an accountant. When you see numbers, you are happy. That means numbers is important to your purpose. Follow me? Now, your career is to go to the office and scatter numbers in spreadsheets. Beautiful. But look at where purpose gets exciting. You now put that gifting towards supporting a church for the fulfillment and saving of souls. Now you're talking.
Great, great. How many of us are really learning from this? Can you go on the chat box and say,
that's a higher level.
I am, can we do that? If you learn something right now, go on the chat box and say, I learned something new, something good, something amazing. Let's go all there. Let's go all to the chat box. Say something, please. Say something, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Dr. Akan. Thank you so much. It's been a great time with you. And I want to also have everybody say a big thank you to Pastor Glory, the convener of this amazing time with the Live Your Dream conference. I'm sure we've not had the bad day from the start. And today is another lift that is striking so hard and so good. Thank you so much, sir. Let's tell Pastor Glory, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, some people are actually called to help others. And that's what we're experiencing right now. You know, thank you so much. Some people feel their calling is for them to make money and eat alone. But please get to know, we live to lift others. We live to be answers to our world. At this point, I'm sure I'm going to hand over to Pastor Glory to conclude for us tonight and maybe call the meeting to a close. Thank you once again, sir. The floor is yours, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Nibro. Thank you so much. I thank you so much, Dr. Akanimo Odon. Wow. Awesome. I mean, the dimensions again tonight, you know, sometimes when you think...
dimensions.
I mean, when you think... I've heard you talk about purpose. But again, tonight now, the dimensions are just mind-blowing. I mean, we can be here for the next 5 hours and we'll still, I will not be satisfied. And I believe every one of us here, you know, we can still be here, you know, for the next hours, you know, talking about just purpose alone. I mean, it's so mind-blowing. It's so amazing. Thank you so much. So this is how you know people are called, you know, into things, because clearly in the dimension you're going is a ministry. I knew from the first day I met you that, you know, you had something special, you know, and I know that your journey it hasn't even begun. Where we'll be hearing of you will be far. Thank you so much for the impact. You have been a blessing to us. Really appreciate you. Let's say a big thank you to Dr. Akanimo. Everyone, just type thank you, sir. We love you, sir.